Hey guys, it's Melanie from melaniekham.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to hand tie a quilt. So what that means is maybe you don't want to machine quilt it yourself. Maybe you don't want to send your quilt off to be long arm quilted. And we all maybe remember, I don't know if you do, I certainly remember having handmade blankets growing up that had those little yarn ties, right? So I'm going to show you how I did that for this quilt. I hand tied it so that it gives you another way to finish your quilts. More photos and all the details first linked down below over on my blog. Details about this quilt and all that good stuff is there too. But this tutorial is going to be how exactly you hand tie it. I use pearl cotton. Pretty easy. I don't know if I would say it's quicker. If you machine quilted some straight lines on this quilt, probably would have gone faster, but you might not be able to, and you might want something like this. So happy to share with you guys. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so if you would like to know how to hand tie a quilt, I'm gonna go over that really quickly. The biggest thing to know is how far apart to space your ties. And that is going to be indicative based on your batting. So this kind of batting that will work best for this method would be something that has the ability to be spaced apart farther. That way you don't have any the batting bunching up in the wash, which is what would happen if there was not enough ties. Okay, so that's really the only thing to keep in mind. So check your manufacturer's instructions on your batting. So you need first your thread. Or your yarn or whatever you want to choose. So I am using Pearl 5. So this is Pearl Cotton number 5. It's got a really nice sheen to it and a nice look. I'm really enjoying using that. This is a size 8, Pearl Cotton size 8. It's a little bit smaller, a little thinner, but it would be a good option too. Also, I did a sample. Let me get nice and close for you. Here is a tie of yarn. So this is a cotton, 100% cotton, really good quality cotton yarn that I wanted to try. The thicker your yarn or your thread is, the harder it is to pull through. So I kind of wanted to try using like this kind of yarn, like a bigger one, and it was really difficult to pull it through the quilt. I opted against using that one. And I don't want you guys to get too tired with your hands as we're doing this. You need your thread or whatever you've chosen. I'm using Pearl Cotton number 5 in a coordinating color. You need a little pair of scissors and some needles. So I am using embroidery needles for this because it has that larger eye. You could also use embroidery floss for this too, actually. Embroidery needles have a larger eye and a nice sharp point. So I'm going to be using that. A ruler is helpful so that you can measure the distance between your ties. Also, a marking tool is helpful, like a chalk pen or water-soluble, air erasable, something that you can, once you measure, you can mark your spot and then move forward with your tying. So when I'm looking at my entire block, so my block starts here to here, here to here, I put a tie in each one of those corners. Then I did one in the middle because this is too far apart for my batting. So I did one in the middle, and then I went to do one in the center, and I just measured, but based on measurement, not really based on the look, because this is the curvy log cabin block, it can look a little bit irregular. So I opted to do it based on measurement. So this is directly halfway in between the two ends. And then I added in some additional ones just to make sure that we've got enough ties so that there's not a lot of bunching or any bunching up of the batting as we put it in the wash. All right, so I'm gonna work in this intersection here, and you need a piece of your thread. About 5-6 inches is good, about that much. And then thread your needle. Insert my needle now that my needle is threaded, and I have my hand on the back of the quilt, my other hand, and pull it till you have a little bit of a tail, and then bring it back up about 1/8 of an inch away. Kind of like to go diagonal across that seam. Okay, pull that up. Then we're going to go back down where the tail is coming out from. We're going to do that one more time. And then come back up. In a similar spot. Then what we're going to do is do 2 knots. So just tie it in a standard knot. Tie that nice and tight, and then another one again. And that's it. And then do a little trim. And there we have a nice cute little tie. This is great for if you're on the go, if you want to take this as a project with you, if you want that real super drape, or you're really interested in having this as a option, like as a design element of your quilt. I don't know that I would say it's faster. I feel like if you did Stitch in the Ditch, it would be just as fast as doing these, because you got to do each one by hand, and you're gonna have to do a fair amount of them just to make sure that everything is secure. You could also do the same idea with your sewing machine. So if you wanted to just take these little spots, kind of go back and forth, that's called, like, I think they call it hand tack or machine tacking your quilt. You could do the same thing and put like a button over top of it. There's kind of a lot of different ways of doing the same idea. But anyway, that's how you hand tie a quilt.